I call this meeting to order. Let's recite the pledge. I am a Disney addict, not a normal Disney fan. If I am to change this image, I must first change myself.
Let's just do a podcast.
Okay. Welcome back to the podcast. Support group. Hi, my name's Chaz.
Jeez, you forgot your name?
I did. I hope they haven't forgotten my name.
I literally was just thinking,
had a panic.
I was like, oh, it's good that Chaz starts this out because he's just like, got it. He's with it. Then you forget your name, dude.
I had a panic attack of, oh no, they might have forgotten me. And then that made me be like, oh no, I forgot myself. Existential crisis right there.
Apparently.
Anyway, like I was saying, my name is Chaz. I am a Disney addict. And I am joined today with...
Taylor.
Taylor.
Apparently Alexa forgot her name too.
We're having a identity
pointed
crisis.
at Taylor first.
I did that, opened it to the table.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do.
You see, I thought it was going to be like last week where Alexa went, and then I was going to be like, and Taylor too. Because I thought it was cute.
So let's just... Okay.
Rewind.
No,
I like it. We should keep it.
Yeah, we're keeping it. I'm not going. I'm Chaz. This is...
Taylor!
I'm Alexa, and I have my baby Anna, who you might hear.
Yep, again, this week. Which is absolutely A-okay, because she's going to be a Disney addict if she's not already one. So
she's wearing Disney
welcome
clothes,
to the club.
I think, already.
Maybe, I don't know.
She's not, actually. This is
But anyway,
one time she's not wearing Disney clothes.
This week, we're going to be playing a game that Alexa has come up with. Preface to this. If it's amazing, it's all credit goes to Alexa. She came up with it completely on her own. And if it bombs, it was all on Alexa, because literally Taylor and I have no idea what it is. We're going into this blind. She's refused to let us see what the game is. She won't give us any details until we were on the mic.
Authentic.
So, now that we're on the mic, Alexa, would you like to unveil the game so we can play?
Yes. So I was thinking, what if it's super lame now?
If it's super lame, we're going to play it anyway. We're going to send it out to the universe. People are going to email and be like,
that's how I'll find
this
out
girl
it's lame.
really does need support.
I was thinking, because there's a lot of rides, pretty much most of the rides are based on movies, and you guys watch all the movies.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what if we went through all the rides and we decided, or we talked about whether we've seen the movie more or been on the ride more times.
Ooh, so
because like Matterhorn, like I've never seen Third Man on the Mountain.
Oh, that is so good. So IP
but
rides.
Obviously, I've seen Snow White a zillion times, but I've also been on the ride a zillion times.
So not necessarily just not rides that are based off of IP. So
Yep.
Okay, so we go over each ride that is an IP ride. Mm-hmm. Either it has IP based off of the ride, or the ride is based off of IP.
Right.
Okay, just making both.
Yep.
So not necessarily that like only rides that are based on IP.
Right. It doesn't
so
have
like
to be
Pirates
like
would be in it, and Haunted Mansion would be included.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's start on Main Street. Is there any IP movies on Main Street?
Kind of think Heaven though.
I mean, if you think about it... If you
go inside, there's like where you can make Pinocchio dance like in the...
Yeah, but there's... So Marceline is like Main Street America.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like the Main Street in The Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin. Have you ever seen that?
Well, no, so...
So
okay.
we'll say that. We'll go... I don't think it was intended, but that movie is fantastic and I love it to death. However, I've been on Main Street way more often than I've seen Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't watched that movie, I highly recommend it. It's just...
Ooh, this is how we can turn it into a game.
It's stupidly hilarious.
Maybe we could add points to how many times we've been, like, if you say, okay, I've been on the ride more times than I've seen the movie, or I've seen the movie more times than I've been on the ride, then we'll give a point to movie or ride.
Okay.
And then we'll see which one wins.
So,
are we doing this by person or all together?
I think we do it all together. Like we're putting ride versus movie here.
Okay.
All right. So, move off of Main Street. Let's take which direction are we going to go? Right or left?
left always.
Yeah, of course. You go left into Adventureland because it's the best land.
And if you have Max Pass, you use that to Fast Pass Space Mountain. That's how you do it.
Yeah. So you always go left. Everybody else goes right. I don't know why. Like, when the park opens, Tomorrowland is always crowded because people go to the right. And it's
want
insane.
to go right on to Space Mountain, or they want a Fast Pass.
Also, it's human nature to go to your right-hand side. If you're walking
Is
down
it?
Main Street, everybody that's going down Main Street tends to stick to the right, and coming back tends to stick to the right. So they're on opposite sides of the street.
In Paris, do they drive on the left side of the road?
I don't know.
Because I wonder if in Paris, most people go to the left, if that's a thing.
It might be, but I notice in America, like, even when you walk into a store...
If you know the answer, help us out.
Yeah, like, I work in retail, and when I watch people walk into the store I work in, I work in the camping department, which is to the left, and most people will walk in and go to the right, which is a clothing department, even if they're looking for a sleeping bag. They go there first. It's always to the right.
That's interesting.
I don't know if it's... I know there are people that it doesn't apply to, but in my personal experience, I see a lot of people going to the right.
Maybe that could be another weird game we play when
we'll
we could just go sit at Disneyland and see and tally how many people go one way or the other.
If you like this idea, we will go to Disneyland and spend an entire trip or an entire visit to Disneyland, not an entire trip. We'll do a 2-day trip, and we'll spend an entire day, and we'll sit on a bench in Disneyland and in like the plaza right next to the partner statue, and we'll tally how many people go right and left.
Basically, we'll call Chaz on his bluff.
We'll do it. We'll do it. I have spent an entire day at Disneyland eating a bucket of popcorn, watching people.
But did you ride the Jungle Cruise?
I did on the way out. That's true.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, you said that last week. We have it on tape.
So, caveat to this is I will spend almost the entire day, and I will run and make it to the Jungle Cruise before midnight.
Deal.
All right? Because I have to ride the Jungle Cruise. It's just my thing.
So if we go that way, then Jungle Cruise is actually next, which is based on the African Queen. Have you seen it?
I have, but I don't know if Taylor has. But I don't know if she knows this. I recently pulled the DVD out of storage and plan on watching it before the Jungle Cruise, the movie, comes out on the 27th of July.
That might be fun because you might be able to find, like, if there are little Easter eggs in there.
Yeah. So I did pull the African Queen. It's out of storage, and I plan on watching it hopefully this weekend if we have time.
Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I have watched the movie, but I have definitely ridden the ride way more times.
You'll have to see if there are Easter eggs and stuff. You'll have to tell everyone.
Oh, yeah.
The whole support group.
Fun fact, my Plymouth is named after my favorite Jungle Cruise boat.
Oh, which one?
Amazon Belle is my favorite Jungle Cruise boat. Every time that one pulls up to the dock and I'm about to get on, I have a little, like, nerdy excitement.
I have a favorite Big Thunder train.
Yeah? Which one?
It's I Am Loco.
That one's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's not different at all. Like,
yeah. Same thing with the boats.
I just
Same
like it.
Same thing with the boats. I really like Amazon Belle.
Yeah.
It's my favorite boat.
Interesting.
It's okay if you
At first I thought it was weird, but then I was like, no, I have a Big Thunder favorite train too.
I guess I'm not at your guys' level yet.
No,
I don't
be quiet over there, Mrs. Heimlich's my favorite ride.
Do you have a favorite Heimlich seat though?
But he's gone.
Right. Well, did you?
Oh my gosh, she's about to cry.
Did we touch? Did we touch a nerve here? I mean, this is a safe space. This is a support group.
Well, I am sad that Heimlich's choo-choo train is no longer, but I always like to sit in the front next to the Heimlich head. It's really great. So you can take a picture with the Heimlich head.
So yes, you do have a favorite spot.
Okay.
So, apparently, I've seen that the Heimlich train, one of the trains, at least the front half, or the front Heimlich head, your favorite seat, I saw it at the Disney Studios, and I would I would love to have enough...
Which Disney Studios? Like
the one
Burbank?
in Burbank. Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to have to go, track that down and at least, take a picture.
Come?
Yeah, absolutely. But if there's anybody out there that could make a 1-to-1 scale replica of that, I would love to have one in my backyard or even replace my couch with it.
Maybe not the whole couch. Our couch is pretty great.
You're the one who loves the Heimlich ride.
I do. I would love to have it, but
not as a couch.
Not as a whole couch. Because, it's just hard plastic. Maybe if it was
you could make it like a plush version.
If it was ours, we could put cushions on it. Come on.
That's true. Okay.
Or you could just do like a full-on stuffed Heimlich.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be even better.
Like a beanbag chair versus.
If someone wants to make me a full-size Heimlich train Heimlich, I would love you forever, and I'd pay well for it, I guess. But let me know, because it's Taylor's favorite ride, and I want to make my wife happy, and so I would like to see her have that.
That's what they say.
Exactly, but not at your own hindrance, but being like make sure your wife's happy, but be happy as well.
They do also say...
Marriage advice in a Disney podcast.
Oh, yeah.
They also say happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah, it's true.
There you go.
Like, Taylor keeps a very good balance of making sure that I am happy as well. So...
Well, that is sweet.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving back. So, Jungle Cruise.
Yes.
Have you seen African Queen?
I have not. Have you?
I have not.
Taylor?
And you've definitely been on the ride more times.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So would we put that... I guess I didn't think all this
I think the ride gets 3 points, the movie gets none.
Okay.
Because all three of us have ridden the ride more than seen the movie.
Okay, deal.
Okay?
Deal.
I think the rides are going to win. I'm just throwing out a projection out there.
Okay,
but let's continue down this rabbit hole because it is fun enough to talk about.
Well, are you calling my game lame? Is that what this is?
No.
You are! I feel it!
It's very fun. I just think that the game is going to end up in a
very,
very specific way.
Yeah. That's fine.
I think it has no chance of going the other way, but it could surprise me.
When we get to Fantasyland and stuff, like...
Oh, yeah.
That might be different, though, because,
That's true.
we have we don't have immediate access to the African Queen, but we have access to... Snow White and Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, so
easy peasy.
You hear that, Fantasyland? We're holding out for you. You have the entire weight of the book, or the entire weight of the land on your backs.
Or when we get to Smuggler's Run, I've definitely seen Star Wars. Way more than I've done that, and Rise of the Resistance.
All right. Okay. Well, let's continue down the path.
Yeah. No spoilers, Chaz.
Yeah. No, you're the one spoiling about
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. How many times have you ridden it versus how many times have you seen it?
I've definitely been on the ride more times.
You know what? I've definitely seen the movie more.
Ooh.
I love the ride, but I also really love the movies. And because there's 3 of them. And, well, 4. Air quotes on that one.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one, too.
But I make it a point that if I watch one, I watch all 3. Mm-hmm. And that's 3 watches. So,
yeah, that's true.
And I will watch them multiple times a year. So,
yeah. All right, you?
Definitely the ride. Also, fun side fact, that was my very first ride I ever rode at Disneyland.
That's true.
That's fun.
Yeah. So, our very first time, that's what Chaz took me on.
Yeah, we were aiming for Pirates, but we walked past Indiana Jones and it had just reopened, and there was nobody in line. You don't pass that up.
Oh, yeah, no. Definitely not.
It was broken down before we'd gotten into the park, and so it was empty, and they reopened it just as we got there. You can't pass that up.
Yeah, that's fun.
I was like, oh yeah, we're going to go ride Pirates because it's a perfect representation of just Disney theming in parks. And then it was like, oh no, we're doing Indiana Jones. And she kind of looked at me like I was insane because oh, you just changed our...
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is a thing, Taylor.
You immediately, if you pass by Indiana Jones and it just reopens, you drop everything you're doing. It doesn't matter if you have a reservation at a restaurant. You go ride Indiana Jones. They'll understand. You show up at Riverbell Terrace an hour and a half late, and you go, Indiana Jones. Oh, got you.
Well, why they're not actually going to do that? Don't take that advice.
No, don't take that advice.
But
if
it takes you an hour and a half, it wasn't something you just couldn't pass up.
But in reality, if it is an hour and a half, it's probably because it's Indiana Jones. You got stuck on it. And they'll understand at that point.
Yeah, if you do say that.
I got stuck on Indiana Jones. Okay, well, here's your table.
Hopefully.
But don't just be like, hey, I was on Indiana... Because they can check that, They'd be like, hey, Indy's up and running right now. You weren't broken down on it, Right. So don't use it as an excuse unless it actually happens.
Right.
So, Anyway, Indiana Jones, I say gets 2 points for ride, 1 point for movie.
I marked that down.
All right, so after
Do we count
Indiana
Tarzan's?
Jones, yeah, absolutely.
I've definitely seen the movie more.
So let's go Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse because that's what it originally was, and then Tarzan.
Well, then for sure I've seen the movie both times, more often than I've been on the Treehouse.
All right, well,
I'm not a stairs person.
yeah.
I mean, I already said I'm in a wheelchair most of the time.
I would go half and half. I've seen Swiss Family Robinsons way more times than I've been in the Treehouse, and I've been in the Treehouse way more times than I've watched Tarzan. I've watched Tarzan a lot, but I do love that Treehouse. Mostly because I go in the Treehouse, nostalgic for the Swiss Family Robinsons Treehouse.
Yeah.
And it's also a fun place to watch fireworks from. Mm-hmm. You don't get any of the castle imagery or anything like that.
They don't let you up there
but
anymore.
Yeah, it was a fun place to watch the fireworks, I should say. So, Taylor?
So I have seen the Tarzan movie more than I've been in the Treehouse, but I've only seen Swiss Family Robinson once.
You have only seen it once, but you've never
been on the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse either.
Oh, that's true. I
so
forgot.
Movies 2 for Taylor. I think.
See, right now we're tied. 6 for movies, 6 for rides.
All right. So moving on from the Treehouse, what's next? Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think I've definitely been on
That's
a ride.
a lot of IP straight in a row.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been on Pirates more. Been on the ride. You too?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, we ride it.
Yeah.
That one might
frequently.
be kind of close, but not
No,
very.
I've definitely ridden the ride way more times than I've seen the movie.
Okay. All right, rides are pulling through again.
Yeah. Did we miss anything in Adventureland? Because there's the Tiki Room, but it's not really based off of anything.
No, I mean unless you count when they did
the Birds Take Over.
the
that was
Iago
Disney World.
thing.
That was Disney World. We're doing Disneyland.
Okay.
So, all right. So after
And then we would have counted Indiana Jones if we were doing Disney World.
yeah. So after Pirates,
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
That one might be kind of close, but I think I've been on the ride more.
Oh, I've been on the ride way more than I've watched the movie. Like,
I made that YouTube video about the Haunted Mansion movie a long time ago, and that might be where it cuts close because I've been watching a lot.
oh, that is torture. The first episode of our podcast, I brought up Disney Dependent. Mm-hmm. Their podcast, they did an episode where they analyzed that movie. Like, they sat down as a group and watched it and then talked about it. And it is one of the funniest things I have ever listened to.
That's fun.
Go give that episode a listen to. It's hilarious. But
hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, but sometime in the future we'll probably do a crossover episode with them. I've already reached out and talked to them, and
Sweet.
They're a fantastic group of people. Honestly, like I didn't say it last episode, but this episode, seriously, go give them a listen. You'll enjoy it. If you enjoy us, you'll enjoy them probably more. But we're still working on it, so it's okay. But yeah,
Taylor.
I've definitely been on the ride way more.
Yeah,
I've seen the movie. I've probably seen the movie a handful of times, and then I really do enjoy the Haunted Mansion.
Right.
I actually get sad.
Wait, we should do Haunted Mansion Holiday too.
Yeah, we'll circle into that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually get sad when they do the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay because I just enjoy Haunted Mansion so
like
much.
them both, but I feel like every time I get off the Haunted Mansion Holiday one, I'm like, okay, now I want to go on regular Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, it leaves you wanting the original.
Yeah.
And
but I don't do that with, like, when I get off the regular Haunted Mansion, I'm like, I wish Jack Skellington was in there. I just don't do that.
And the other thing is they have to close down for so long to put it up and then also take it down.
Yeah.
The Haunted Mansion is gone for so long.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I get enough of it throughout
Well, did you know it's actually, like, if you do the math, because it's basically, because it takes about a month to put up and take down for each time. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 months out of the year, so 10 months. And each of them is about 5.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much half and half, even though you'd think that the seasonal one would be like shorter, but it's technically half and half.
But it covers 2 seasons or 2 holidays, so Halloween
and Christmas.
And they usually started in like September.
Yeah. So the reason I've seen the movie so much is specifically because of that. Like,
right.
I find myself wanting the original Haunted Mansion, and I will go and watch that movie as much torture as it is to watch it. I will go and watch the movie just for the piddly references that are within it to the Haunted Mansion. I mean, let's be honest, the movie does a poor job at covering the ride. A very poor job
it's not close
but
to the ride at all.
There are just enough references in there that, like, if you need a shot of Haunted Mansion and you're a glutton for punishment, you can watch the movie and be okay.
I liked the movie.
It's okay, but like,
not a lot of people do like it though. It's not the best.
It was not Eddie Murphy's best work.
Yeah, definitely could be better.
The kids in the movie, fantastic job, but a lot of the like. That Ramsey guy was like a little bit over the top.
Oh yeah, he's good. I like that he talks like a sheep, which I talked about in my video. It's like the road is flooded. That's what he does.
But it kind of there's some points where it's like it's reaching, and they do a better job on Disney Dependent explaining because they straight up watch the movie, and I don't have the energy nor the.
Eventually, you're gonna get there.
Yeah, I'll watch it again, but
when you get to 2003 or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna watch it again because it's been a year since I've been on the ride, and it's about time to watch it again.
We used to watch it in the rain. For some reason, it was like tradition. Me and Riley would watch it in the rain. It was a thing.
Wow.
Aww,
yeah,
cute.
I know. We're cuties. Okay. Okay. Next is. Well, we gotta discuss Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. More
I've
times
definitely
on the ride
been on
or the movie.
I've definitely been on the ride more often.
Okay. I think I've seen the movie more than the ride on that one.
I would have to say the same.
The
just
movie?
because, I've seen the movie more than I've been on the ride.
Okay.
It's insane, but like, it's there for 5 months, but there's always a line.
Right.
And the Haunted Mansion, sometimes it dies down, which is really weird to me, but you can get on the Haunted Mansion a lot easier than you can get on Haunted Mansion Holiday.
I wonder if people who don't know think it might be scary, so they don't bring their kids on it or something.
It's totally terrifying. If you've never been on it, it's terrifying. Don't ride it with your kids. Do not ride it.
Don't listen to Chaz. He's just trying to make sure the line is...
We're not wanting people to ride it.
And they're not wanting a long line.
Yeah, I'm going to totally edit this out so we can talk for real here.
Whatever.
No.
Whatever. Okay, next is Splash Mountain and then Winnie the Pooh.
Let's do Splash Mountain first.
Definitely been on the ride more. I've only seen Song of the South once, and it was on your stuff.
Yeah, on my media server that I store my movies on. I have seen Song of the South several times, but definitely ridden the ride more.
Yeah. That one I think is going to be pretty easy.
I would say the same ride.
Yeah, definitely ride more because the movie is basically non-existent. It never really got a DVD release in the States or even a VHS release in the States. My copy, it was a VHS that I bought from somebody in England.
Yeah. Yeah.
So... Alexa, you were saying before we started.
Princess and the Frog. Nobody's ridden that ride yet, and obviously that one gets movie.
Yeah, because they're redoing Splash Mountain as Princess and the Frog. So,
thank you.
Yeah, you watched Princess and the Frog. I've watched Princess and the Frog. Taylor,
and I have too.
So obviously it gets a movie point. There we go. We're finding ways to get the movie's points.
And then Winnie the Pooh. I've been on the ride more for sure.
So I ride the ride every time I go, but I also grew up watching that movie a lot.
Yeah, I guess I grew up on it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give the movies a point for me.
Okay.
Taylor?
And I'm going to give the movies a point too because I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid, and we don't always ride it that often when we are at the movies.
I almost like...
Yeah, I think mine's still going to be on a ride.
I tend to ride it like when we go over to Splash Mountain and I'm just not feeling being wet and cold because Taylor always wants to ride it at night. I try to talk her into going on Winnie the Pooh.
Where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
I think it's so fun.
That literally used to... Why didn't we do that all the time?
I don't know.
So
for those
that don't know, Splash Mountain was one of Alexa's favorite rides for the longest time, but she developed an allergy to the water.
Yeah, it's so sad.
So you want to explain how you found that out before we move on?
I just kept getting itchy every time I went to Disneyland, and it was super weird, and I'd get like these hives and stuff, and one time I finally just took Benadryl, even though I was super tired, I just drank Dr. Pepper all day or whatever. But
how did you find Dr. Pepper in the park?
We went and got it from a gas station.
Okay, because off topic, Dr. Pepper, I'm holding up a can of it as I speak, is the nectar of the gods. And it is the one thing that Disney has done wrong by not bringing it into the park.
Because it's a Pepsi product.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a 7-Up product. It's a Dr. Pepper and 7-Up. It's not Pepsi. So that's.
It's not a Coke product.
It's not a Coke product. That's the thing. But did you know you can still find it on Disney property?
Where?
There's a pizza shop in downtown Disney that has it in bottles.
Oh.
If you need a quick fix, the pizza shop in downtown Disney has it in bottles, and it's fantastic if you need a quick fix. If you're not willing to walk that far, but you want something close to it, but not quite it in the park, Riverbell Terrace has Mr. Pibb on tap.
Mr. Pibb is good too.
And
okay.
So I may be a Disney addict, but I'm also a Dr. Pepper addict, apparently. I know where to get my fix. Anyway, back to...
Winnie the Pooh, right?
Well, she was saying how she would drink Dr. Peppers to stay awake.
Oh, yeah, because I discovered I was allergic to Splash Mountain. It was a tragedy. And it was every time, because we would always go to Splash Mountain first. It was tradition for like years and years and years. So then I would be itchy every time I went to Disneyland, and I was like, what am I allergic to here? Finally, I took Benadryl and had soda to keep me up all day, and I went away. And I realized that I think it's because every time I use Comet, if I don't use gloves, or if I use dish soap and I don't use gloves, I get hives and stuff, and I get itchy. So I think I'm allergic to something that's in cleaner, and it might be in the Splash Mountain water too.
All right, so where did we end up on the Winnie the Pooh scores? Did we add those up?
Yes, I put them down.
Okay, so we're done with Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
All right, so
Star Wars.
Off from Winnie the Pooh to Star Wars. Now, that's going to be complicated because, like, are we going to say, like, the entire Star Wars movies versus the entire Star Wars Land, the rides?
I'd say, however, if you've ridden Smuggler's Run, I've never been on Rise of the Resistance, but Smuggler's Run or Rise of the Resistance more than you've watched any of the official Star Wars Skywalker Saga movies.
Okay, so you're not counting, like, Rogue One
No.
or Mandalorian or...
No. I'd count the actual episodes.
So, see episode 1 through 9?
Yep.
Alright, well, I have definitely watched episode 1 through 9
Right.
more than the rides.
That's what I'd say too, but just because they're new.
Yeah.
You know?
But, I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to take years for me to catch up to how many times I've watched it.
That's
Yeah, and I'm the same way too. Like, that was one of the movies my dad liked to watch when we were kids because it was kid friendly.
Yeah.
And so we watched that a lot with him as kids.
Your dad still watches it to this day
I
when
know.
we're over.
He does like
He'll
them.
just put it on in the background. If he's not watching Malcolm in the Middle or some kind of, like, alone or, like, hunting show, has Star Wars on.
Yep, that's true.
What a fun guy.
Oh, her dad's awesome.
That's what a lot of people say.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite Facebook friends. He posts crazy things, and it's fun.
All right.
But,
Let's
so,
do
well, if we circle out of
Galaxy's
Edge, we go into Frontierland. You've got Big Thunder Mountain, which is an IP.
no.
You've got, well, you know what? We skipped over the Davy Crockett riverboats or the canoes. We skipped over those.
I've never done either, actually.
You've never watched the movie or ridden the paddle boats?
No, I'm kind of not really a boat person. I don't know if you guys knew that.
So the canoes, I've been tricked into riding that 4, 5, 6, 12, a lot. I've been tricked into riding it a lot.
I don't know how you could be, like, do you just fall into the canoe? And
No, it's like, hey, this seems like fun. It's hot out. Let's go do this. And then you're like, somehow your brain has erased, like, the embarrassment of paddling in front of everybody on the rivers of America and the jeering that you received from Mark Twain Riverboat as it passes by. And when you're in front of pirates and people are like, how did you get suckered into doing that? Like,
I'm fine with pirates and Splash Mountain and stuff.
Yeah.
But even the Mark Twain makes me nervous. I'm so weird about it. I just am not a boat person. I don't like boats.
All right. Well, I personally have I've definitely ridden the boats more than I've watched Davy Crockett, and that's really weird considering I watched that a lot as a child. Like I had a Davy Crockett hat, and like I had the Davy Crockett theme song on vinyl, like as a kid that I would listen to like at least once a week. I didn't watch the movie once a week, but. And then there's Davy Crockett and the Riverboat Pirates with Mike Fink. Such a good film, but I still think I have been tricked into riding the canoes more than I've watched the movies, which makes me very concerned for my mental health.
If I've done neither, should we put...
I don't think he gets any points for
No,
you.
just no points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And it's not going to be divisible by 3 anymore. What are we going to do?
I don't know, but we're going to circle back around to the other side of the river.
Wait, what about me? I didn't say
Yeah,
anything.
we got to do...
I'm sorry. I thought you had already said something.
We got to do Tom Sawyer's Island and the Mark Twain, the Sailing Ship of Columbia.
Okay, well, but first.
Yeah, Taylor.
Now, I remember riding the canoes at least once. However...
I've tricked you into riding it a second time because someone tricked me into it. So I was giving you the experience of being tricked into it a second time.
Okay, well, so that's 2 for the ride. But for the movie, I think I've only watched the Davy Crockett films once through. So that would be 1 each, right?
Yeah, so it's a tie for you.
It's a tie.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that 1 point each?
Yeah, you know what? You do have a Mike Fink T-shirt. I think we should give it to the movies because of the T-shirt.
I know. I
love
that T-shirt.
It's amount of times though, not how many T-shirts you have.
Yeah, but like she really loves that movie, and if it wasn't for that, like we're watching every movie in order, I guarantee you she would have watched it a ton more times.
Well, I mean, I've probably sang the Davy Crockett song on the way to Disneyland more times than I can count. As well.
Yeah, that's true. I think we'll still give it a wash, like it's a tie for you.
I think you're right.
All right, so from Davy Crockett paddle or canoes, where are we gonna go? Tom Sawyer's Island.
Tom Sawyer's Island,
which is now Pirates.
I've been on Tom Sawyer's Island twice. Don't judge me. I'm not a boat person. You have to take a boat to get over there.
Okay, but and what IP are we comparing it to?
I guess I've read the book once, but that's not really a movie, huh?
Yeah, but there was
So I guess it probably wouldn't even count, huh? If there's not really a movie.
Isn't there a movie though?
You would know better than I do.
There's an Adventures. Movie? I can't remember if it was a Disney film, but I know that like Jonathan Taylor Thomas was in a Huckleberry Finn movie.
Huh.
But regardless, I've been on the island way more than I've seen that movie, because if I can't recall the movie... Well,
are we counting it if there's not an official Disney IP? We gotta Google it, probably.
I think we gotta Google that real quick.
All right.
Well, Google says Adventures of Huck Finn from 1993, starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So... And
it's Disney.
We're gonna count it, and we're gonna give it to the island, the ride.
/attraction
points. We're going to give it
That's
to that.
All, for all 3 of us?
Yeah, you've never seen the movie. And
correct.
So, yep. The ride, the island gets it. Mark Twain, is there... Are we going to give that anything?
No, because it's just based on the author.
Yeah, which... And then Columbia is not really based off of an intellectual property.
No.
Big Thunder Mountain, like we said, is in an IP.
So let's go to
Golden Horseshoe. Well, no, let's continue through Frontierland, because there's Golden Horseshoe, again, not an IP, but if you go next door to the Mercantile, there are all of the Pecos Pete and the Slewfoot Sues, all throughout that store, and so that is the Disney short, you know.
Oh, okay.
So, but I've
definitely never seen that. I've never even heard of it until you said it just now.
I've been in the store a lot more than that, so let's give the store a point.
Okay.
Wait. We're talking about rides here.
Yeah,
is that considered a ride?
We considered
That's
Main
not
Street.
Really attractions.
But we didn't. We actually
the store is not really an attraction.
And we're talking attractions because in Disneyland there's only one ride. Let's be honest here. There's only one ride.
I am so bothered when people say that. I don't know why. There's a saying, if you don't know, there's a saying that people say everything at Disneyland is an attraction except for there's one ride, and it's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Because everything else is listed on the map as a ride it's rides and attractions, and literally down the entire map there's only one thing that has ride after it, which is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So
I don't know why it bothers me.
But so let's go across to Tomorrowland.
We're not doing Toontown?
No, we'll circle to Toontown. We'll go around the outside of the park because we're going to end in Fantasyland.
I know,
And
but I don't want to forget Toontown.
No, we're gonna go Tomorrowland, through Tomorrowland, up past Small World into Toontown, and then back out and down to Fantasyland.
Okay.
All right, we're
Space
planning out a
Mountain
route
doesn't
here.
have an IP.
Well, let's do the whole route. So we've got
Matterhorn.
well, first we've got Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
All right.
So
I used to watch that a lot as a kid.
yeah, I've watched the cartoon, like the Star Command cartoon.
Yeah, me too.
Toy Story 1, 2, 3. I mean, so it definitely goes.
My
to
son is
movies on
obsessed
that
with
one.
all the Toy Story stuff right now, so
I mean,
I've seen it a lot.
I've written it a lot, but I've seen the movies a lot more than that.
So the movies get the point.
Yep,
Yep,
that goes
Taylor,
to the movies for me too.
All right, and then from
Star
there we're going to go
Tours.
across to Star Tours.
I think been on Star Tours more than I've seen the movies.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
I think I've definitely seen the movies more than I've seen Star Tours.
I'm also on the movie side because Star Tours makes me
Sick.
Yeah, motion sick. But I've braved it a couple times just to see it, just because I wanted to so bad.
Yeah, and then going into Tomorrowland Theater, which used to be Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, which was based off of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I'd probably seen that movie more often.
Yeah.
If we're doing Honey, I Shrunk the Audience / Kids.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the movie more, and Taylor never even got to experience the experience.
Does that even count if I didn't experience it?
You've obviously seen the movies more.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we'll go from there to Space Mountain, which isn't an IP.
No.
And then there's currently
Star Wars
Launch Bay, but it's not really a ride if we're not counting the Mercantile. We're not counting Launch Bay.
That's fine. It's the nap spot. We already discussed that last episode.
Yeah. So then we'll circle over from there we'll go to Autopia, which isn't an IP either. It was sponsored by Chevron, which isn't an IP, and then now it's Honda.
Yeah.
And so still no IP. And then we'll
now
go
to Finding
over
Nemo.
to Finding Nemo, which used to be 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I didn't do either one of those.
So I've done them both. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I rode a handful of times. Dory, I've rode 3 times. But I've seen Finding Nemo well over that.
I've seen Finding Nemo more,
and
for sure.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I was a kid that watched all the old Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched that way more than I rode on the ride. Taylor?
Are we talking about Finding Nemo? Or
Finding Nemo, because we want to know
checking.
where you stand.
Yeah, so I've seen the movies way more. I also have the same problem with the Finding Nemo ride, where it makes me motion sick. That initial spot, because you have that little tiny window to look out of, and then
the bubbles.
It goes back, and it's a mess.
Your eyes don't have anywhere to focus because the bubbles are just fluttering by. Oh, it's terrible.
And 50% of the time, it smells like puke.
Oh,
yeah.
Because other people have also gotten sick.
Back when it was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, it smelled like diesel, which was not much better.
It sounds way better.
Well, I mean, it was better, but not by much. Like, nobody gets nostalgic for puke, but people do get nostalgic for diesel.
Okay, just to recap, I think I missed your 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah,
you said you've
watch
seen the
more movies.
Okay.
Movies more.
Got it.
All right, so from there, let's go across the bay to Matterhorn. Matterhorn was Seventh Man on the Mountain, which I have seen.
I think it's Third Man on the Mountain.
Yeah, Third Man on the Mountain. So, geez, I don't know where Seventh came from.
I don't know
That was
either.
weird. Third Man on the Mountain, I've seen probably 3 times. It's an enjoyable movie. They were on set in Switzerland when Walt got that postcard that he wanted to make that mountain in Disneyland. So
that he sent one of his Imagineers.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize that Matterhorn is IP.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie?
I've never seen the movie, so Matterhorn, the ride, gets it for me.
Matterhorn definitely gets it for me too, because as much as I don't like riding it, hear me out, I am 6'4" and I am 265 on a good day, 300 on a bad day. The Matterhorn bobsleds do not like me. My knees are in my nose the entire ride.
I know.
But I did find a new love for it because after I married Taylor, I found an absolute new love for that because she had to ride every ride. And so I went on the Matterhorn one time. I was going to go on it one time so that she would experience it. And now I love going on that ride. As much as it hurts, I love it because we'll go up
that ride too.
Taylor forgets that the Yeti exists every time.
I forget where he is in the ride.
We'll be going up the hill and you'll hear him chugging up the hill next to you and she'll scream. You'll come around the corner, not even going fast yet, and the first time you see the Yeti, she screams. And then you'll be going fast and it's at the point where it's okay, like you can understand that you forgot the Yeti's there, and she screams. And it's hilarious to me every time.
It is pretty funny.
It's the funnest thing ever.
It is pretty fun.
She has one Matterhorn backup fan because when I was a kid, I loved it, but being tall, not designed for us. Especially now that they have the single-person seats. Like back when it was a more open bobsled, so much easier to ride. So, Matterhorn gets all 3 points on that one?
Yeah, I've only seen the movie once because of our list.
Yeah.
It was on our list and we've passed it now. But besides that, yeah, I've ridden Matterhorn way more times as a ride than watched the movie.
So, moving on from the Matterhorn, we're going to go down towards Toontown. But on the way to Toontown, there's Small World. So, Small World, no
Not
IP.
based on an IP.
And it would be terrifying if there was an IP, because Small World is terrifying to me. It gives me nightmares.
If we go in for Roger Rabbit the movie, I have seen way more times.
We're going to go into Toontown, we'll hit Roger Rabbit, and I have seen the movie way more than I've ridden the ride.
Yeah, me too.
I love going on the ride, though, because the queue is something phenomenal.
Right. I kind of just forget it's there. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, and, you can go on the ride, you can get there, and the standby line is going to be an hour and a half.
Right.
And the Fast Pass is 5 minutes from the moment that you scan your pass. But the whole reason you go there is for the queue. So if you're not going through the queue, what's the point of the ride?
Right. But you also don't want to spend an hour and a half in it. It's
a
whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like one of those... I want to ride the ride, but I also want to go through the queue. If I'm going to ride the ride, then I want the queue so I have the whole experience.
Right. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to do that. I got a Fast Pass because you don't want to ride the ride without the queue. Taylor?
Well, I've only seen Roger Rabbit once, so I actually am on the ride side.
Oh, wow. All right, well...
And then Gadget's Go Coaster.
Gadget's Go Coaster is based off of the Rescue
Tailspin.
Rangers. Rescue Rangers, not Tailspin.
No,
Tailspin was Baloo and Kid Cloud Kicker.
Yeah, you're right.
Kid Cloud Kicker. Gadget's Go Coaster is Gadget, Monterey Jack.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I used to watch that show as a kid a lot.
So...
But I did also ride the roller coaster a lot as a
But
kid.
watching the show as a kid, are we counting each episode, or are we counting the series? Because I've watched the series maybe 2 or 3 times.
I don't know.
Okay, so I think we should count it as a series, maybe not every episode, because there's a lot of episodes. But even then, I probably have ridden Gadget's Go Coasters more times than I've watched the episodes.
I think regardless, I'm still going to have points to the ride.
I'm going to lead on the ride because there was a time that we went to Disneyland and there was nobody in Toontown. It was back in early 2000s. Early 2000s. I was still in high school for sure. So it was before 2004. And my mom and I went on that ride, and there was a person training, and they couldn't quite get hitting the brakes right. And so the car would roll past the station a little bit, and so they would send us around, and we ended up riding it 20 times in 20 times that day because they couldn't offload it because they couldn't get the braking right. It was ridiculous.
Right.
But
I feel like every time it's kind of a hit and miss. I think, well, recently when I've been on it, they only have you go one time around.
yeah, it's always one time around. But that day they were training the person, and they kept on missing the break or something like that.
I felt like for a couple years or so, they would send you at least twice.
Maybe, but like they kept on saying, "Oh, we missed the break," and they send us around, and we went 20 times. It was ridiculous because it was like, I want to go meet Mickey Mouse. His house is right there. But those are the only rides really in Tomorrowland, or I mean, Toontown, which, you know.
Yeah, I would have to say I'm also on the side of the ride, just because I think I've ridden it twice, like once to make sure I've hit every ride, and then once with one of our nieces, and that was pretty much it. But I've never seen any of the series at all.
Yeah, Taylor, like, if you remember first episode, she's a late convert to Disney addiction.
A late convert.
She found the sweet Disney a little late in life, but it's okay. So, out of Toontown, we're going to go into Fantasyland, and with Fantasyland, the first one coming from Toontown is Storybook Land Canal Boats, which is a lot of IP.
Right.
Oh my
I don't know if
goodness.
you can even count that one.
Well, so, I mean, if you...
It's several IPs.
It's several IPs, but, like, if you've watched...
Then again, I'm not a boat person, and all the IPs I've seen more.
If you compare all the IPs in there, the IPs are going to win on that one.
Yeah. So are we counting it?
Yeah, so let's go with the movies, because, I mean, you've got Peter Pan, you've got Aladdin.
Even Elsa's
Yeah,
Castle's
Little
there.
Mermaid, Frozen, Pinocchio. Speaking of, remember, Matterhorn, if you're riding on Storybook Land canals and you look above Geppetto's workshop when you're on the canals, the Matterhorn lines up perfectly and gives you like this really weird Swiss Alps perspective. It's really cool.
Oh.
Look for it next time you ride that ride. It's really cool.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're riding the ride, Geppetto's workshop lines up perfectly with the Matterhorn. It's really cool.
I'm going to have to write that down for another fun fact.
So, after the canal boats, we'll go around the corner to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is off of Mr. Toad and Ichabod Crane.
I've definitely, at least the Mr. Toad's version, or part of the movie,
Yeah.
I've seen maybe once.
But
I've been on the ride a lot.
I've seen that a lot, but I've ridden it a
ride
lot
adds
more
a
because every time I've ridden Splash Mountain, I go to Mr. Toad's.
Oh, so you can warm up.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
my wife is crazy and likes to ride Splash Mountain at night.
I know.
So we have to go to Mr. Toad's afterwards. So I've ridden it a lot. Mm-hmm. So after Mr. Toad's, next to up in line is, we'll go down that row, so Peter Pan.
That one's where it gets close.
Yeah. I have...
We can't forget, like, Dumbo and the Carousel,
Well, no,
too.
we're going to circle around
Okay.
all of Fantasyland. We're just working our way down so we don't miss
I'm just
anything.
making a note.
Yeah, we're doing like as if we're walking through the park. We're hitting each
Gotcha.
stop, you know?
Gotcha.
Like, you don't go from Mr. Toad's over to Dumbo back to Peter Pan unless you got a fast pass, but there's no fast passes for it, so, you know, you work your way through it. Really, you go Peter Pan to Mr. Toad's, but if you're going in order.
Okay, anyway.
So, anyway, Peter Pan, I've ridden the ride way more than I've seen them. Not way more, but I've ridden the ride more than I've seen the movie.
I used to have a little crush on Peter Pan, but not the first Peter Pan from Return to Neverland.
Okay.
For some reason, when he's just like a super rude kid to Jane, I don't know what it was. Maybe I have a type, I don't know.
Well, that one's not Disney, so...
Return to Neverland?
Oh, no, Return to Neverland. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the
The cartoon.
The
no, it was in theaters. They had Return to Neverland.
No, Return to Neverland. Yeah, you're right. I thought you were talking about that, the one in the 2000s, the Peter Pan in the 2000s, the live action one.
Anyway, I watched that a lot. Way more than I watched the first Peter Pan, and probably more than I've been on the ride, if we're being honest. So if that counts, then movie.
Yeah, no, that's still
if
IP.
It doesn't count.
No, it's still IP.
Alright,
it counts.
so movie then, probably.
Alright, well, I'm going to give it to the ride.
Okay. I am not sure where I would fall. I'm leaning on the side of movie, but then again, I'm not sure.
So, how many times have you seen the movie?
That's the thing. I feel like I've seen it more, but I can't place my finger on like a number of times.
Well, we've only ridden the ride like 3 times.
I would say it's more like 5 because remember we would go with like your mom. And
Oh yeah, I
she
forgot
always
about
loved
that.
riding it.
Yeah,
and
she
so,
does like riding that.
Yeah, and she would wait in line with us.
Well, do you want
ride.
to call it a wash for you or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a wash because I did watch the movies like a decent amount of times, like several times at least.
All right.
It would be very close. Like I can't say for sure which side it would be for sure.
All right. Well, considering that we gave Tarzan's Treehouse and Swiss Family Robinson's, which is a walkthrough, we gave that time. We're going to give Sleeping Beauty's Castle, which is a walkthrough.
I thought that too. But I'm
as well.
definitely... Ooh, I think I've seen the movie more than I've gone through the walkthrough.
100% I've seen the movie more than I've gone through the walkthrough. But have you ever done the ADA accessible walkthrough?
I have not. I've heard it's great though.
It's another fantastic nap spot. If you have someone that's in a wheelchair that wants to go do that, it's fantastic because they've got a little throne in there that like the person that pushes a wheelchair in can sit in. It's
That's
awesome.
cool.
And there's just a TV screen. And the walkthrough is actually it's a DVD special feature on one of the anniversary editions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if you ever want to watch the ADA walkthrough, I have ADD, my brain goes weird. ADA walkthrough, and you're not at the parks, if you have the DVD or the Blu-ray, it's a special feature on that.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. You can just go in there and they do the whole walkthrough on a TV screen so that because when they made the castle ADA accessible, they added it.
Right.
It's just to, if you're going out of Fantasyland through the castle towards Main Street, it's going to be on your left-hand side just before you hit the actual gateway of the castle.
Yeah.
So this is probably going to sound crazy to you guys, but I...
That's so crazy. Oh.
Oh, wow.
I've probably only watched the Sleeping Beauty movie only like 3 times, and I know I've done the walkthrough more than 3.
Yeah.
Because I've also done the ADA walkthrough look at thing.
Yeah.
Several times. Plus, we walked through several times. So
You probably
got
get
those.
you get the ride or attraction thing. That's
All
fun.
right, so going back down, we're going to go... So there's the Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique. Are we counting that? Because it is an experience. And it's...
I wouldn't say it's... Oh, I guess it is an attraction, technically, if you take your kids in.
I'm not talking about the store. I'm talking about the boutique.
The experience.
Oh, if we've been in the boutique?
No, like if you've done the boutique.
Oh.
Like when
Done
like
the
the little
experience.
girls when they have them dressed up as
I
princesses
personally
and do
have
their
never
hair.
done it, and I am super sad about that.
I've never done it either.
I want some of that
Same.
glitter in my hair.
The ride, we get the movie for all 3 of those.
So Cinderella gets a point.
But I'm definitely going to have Anna do it, obviously. And then I'm going to write
I
off
want
my
to do it,
taxes.
but I don't think they have a Prince Philip costume in my size.
Probably not. But I'm really glad that they have more options for boys now.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. I loved seeing that in there the last time we were there.
In Disney World, they have something similar where it's pirates.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's
So,
lots of fun.
Well, we're on the home stretch. We're getting there.
Snow White.
So, yes, Snow White.
Snow White is
Snow
gonna
White's
be-
Scary Adventure, but now it's...
Enchanted Wish.
Snow White's Enchanted Wish, starting when the park opens.
I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so exciting.
She finally has her happy ending in the ride, apparently. Not just, and they lived happily ever after, right after you watch the evil queen die from a lightning strike.
I know, that's pretty crazy.
I'd say spoiler alert, but hey, it's gone now, so, or at least they tell us it's gone now, so.
Well, it was started under construction before it left.
Yeah, but we don't know the actual ride details until we go ride it again.
Right,
but
right.
they tell us that, it actually has a resolution to it beyond the storybook telling you happily ever after.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, I've seen the movie way more times than ever in the ride.
It's going to be close for me. I'm trying to think. I don't know. What about you?
Well, for myself, I've probably only seen the Snow White movie 1 or 2 times, so I'm definitely on the ride side.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
What about you, Alexa? Were you ride or movie?
I'm trying to think about it. It might genuinely be like really close to a tie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you want to call it a wash?
Yeah.
All right, well, after Snow White, we've got Pinocchio, and I know for a fact I've ridden the ride more than I've watched the movie.
Me too.
That's my favorite Fantasyland ride. Well, anytime that there's like those rumors that pop up about, oh, they're gonna replace Pinocchio with what, I get mad. I genuinely get mad.
Jeez.
Like, I love that ride. I don't know why. It's just like all the other Fantasyland rides where it's just painted surfaces that fold out of your way, but I genuinely love the Pinocchio ride. I love it, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, cool. I've definitely been on the ride more than I've seen Pinocchio.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen the movie a ton, but I love that ride. Before we leave that area, we're going to talk about the carousel, King Arthur's Carousel, which is based off of Sword in the Stone. I think it's a wash for me.
Really?
Yeah, I ride that carousel a lot. But as a child, I would always watch the movie, and there's no way I could calculate which one has a higher percentage for me.
For me, it's definitely the ride.
And I would also say it's the ride for me, since I've only watched the movie once.
Real quick, can we throw in some possible other IP on that ride? Because the Pearly Dans ride it all the time.
Right.
And so do Mary Poppins. And
Jingles is
now dedicated to Julie Andrews.
Yeah, and there's like little Mary Poppins little icons.
Yeah, exactly. So that's IP. So
let's say on the ride
let's say Jingles riding Jingles versus Mary Poppins.
Ooh. That might still be a wash. I love Jingles.
But
Jingles, for if you don't know, Jingles is the lead horse that has a bunch of bells on it, and it was dedicated to Julie Andrews, a Disney ambassador who played Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it's rumor has it that it was Lillian Disney's favorite horse, but I've only heard it as a rumor. I've never heard of confirmation on that.
I've never heard it confirmed either.
Yeah. So we'll give Jingles herself a point for you.
Yes.
So rides get a point, and I think I've seen Mary Poppins more times than I've ridden on Jingles because I usually give Jingles up to a kid if I get it. Like if there's a little girl that's like, oh, that's a really lovely horse, I give it up.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Yeah.
He's lying. No,
I'm
just kidding.
I'm a big burly dude. I look like a jerk if I don't give the kid the horse.
I also fall into the ride category on this one. This is also another movie I've only seen once.
Yeah, and you've made sure to ride Jingles several times.
Probably like 5 times, I would say, at this point.
I know every time you've ridden the carousel, if you don't get Jingles, you get right back in line, and you're sure that you get Jingles next time.
My profile picture on my Slack profile for my professional job is me on Jingles.
I love that.
So we're coming down to the last 2 rides, which are technically both the same IP.
No, we have Dumbo.
Dumbo and Casey Jr. are both the same IP.
You're missing Alice in Wonderland and Mad Tea Party.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't circle back to that.
Uh-huh.
That was the wrong side of Fantasyland.
Which are also both technically the same IP.
Yeah, so we've got 2 IPs, 4 rides.
Yeah.
So, Casey Jr. and Dumbo for the Dumbo IP. Which one wins it for you?
Movie, for me.
You've seen Dumbo more than you've ridden both?
Hold on.
Oh, the ride, I mean. Sorry.
The ride?
Hold on. There's the live action.
The live
Dumbo
action
and the cartoon.
I have never seen either one.
Wow.
I know.
Is it because Dumbo flies and you're afraid of birds? You can be honest.
You figured it out. No, I don't know why, actually. I just never really had, the chance to watch it.
All right. Well, next week we're going to sit down and watch Dumbo. And
okay.
after we answer everybody's questions, I guess we're going to have a detailed review of Dumbo. Both of them.
Let's do it! Let's do it!
We'll not have the review on next week's episode, but probably the episode after, maybe. We'll give that a shot. But I have ridden Casey Jr. a ton. It's another one of those, when I was a kid, I loved that ride. I couldn't stay away from it. I would go back and forth between Jungle Cruise, Pinocchio, and Casey Jr. without fail. So I would give it to the rides on this one. And Taylor, you've already counted in on this? So
for the Dumbo ride, I've I think we saw the live action twice.
Yeah.
But I think I've only seen the cartoon once. And we've definitely ridden the Dumbo ride way more.
Yeah.
So I'm in the ride.
So the ride category. Okay, well, the last 2 rides that I honestly did forget, even with Alexa's "Don't forget any rides" promptings, I somehow forgot them. Mad Tea Party. Oh, you know why? Because it's the Mad Tea Party.
You don't like it?
I do and I don't. Like, it's one of those rides that you either you can love to hate and you can hate to love, but it just is. I remember in my teenage years, my friend Jordan and our friend Liz and I would get on the teacups, and Liz would hate it spinning, and so naturally, being teenage boys, Jordan and I would spin it to an insane speed to the point where we couldn't stand up afterwards. And then we would go and do it again, and again, and again, to the point where there was one time I almost puked on the White Rabbit's doorstep outside by the Mad Hatter. I was like curled up there, dry heaving, like, oh no, my churros are going to come up.
My churros are going to come up.
At the time, I didn't have someone controlling my churro intake, so
yeah.
You're
welcome.
It's so funny that Taylor's like, yeah, I know, it was a problem.
So, yeah, speaking of problem, I used to have the point, like, my rule in Disneyland was if you passed by a churro stand, you had to buy a churro. It didn't matter if you had a churro in your hand. If you walked by a churro stand, you had to buy a churro. That was just matter of fact.
And if you don't know, there are a lot of churro stands in
and
Disneyland.
So we go on our first trip, and I'm still in that mindset, you know, freshly married man on our honeymoon trip. We go by the first churro stand, I buy a churro, and get Taylor a churro, and then we walk down Main Street, and we're now in the, you know, right by the partner statue, and there's another churro stand, and it was like, all right, time for a churro, and Taylor immediately was like, no. This is not healthy.
We're cutting
this is
off
not normal.
right now.
And so I get 1 churro a trip now instead of 1 churro a churro stand. So a lot healthier.
That's quite the downside.
Well, plus side is I have more money for pins and other stuff, such things, you know. So it's not really a loss.
Yeah. For me, Mad Tea Party, I think I've probably been on the teacups more, but the Alice in Wonderland ride itself, the dark ride, that one might be a tie too. But
are we counting the live actions as well?
I was counting the cartoons.
Okay, the cartoon, and there's 2 live actions of Alice in Wonderland that are still Disney IP.
Well, if that's the case, then it's for sure the rides win. But because I've only seen the live action first one once, and I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, but does the cartoon count over on the others as well, or because we're just lumping all the IP, like movies IP together versus the rides?
I think it's probably ride for both of them.
All right. Okay. For me, it's definitely IP. Drip, drip, drop, little April showers.
That's Bambi.
That's Bambi. It's the Sunday afternoon, the flower song.
The
golden afternoon. Goodness.
Are you sure you've watched the movie that many
times? It is 10:30 at night as we're recording this, and I have been up way longer than I should be. So my brain is all of a sudden not wanting to cooperate with my memory. But I've definitely seen the movies more than the rides because the teacups are terrifying, even though you do them every time. I've definitely watched the movie a lot because I had sisters growing up and they loved that movie. So that is our tour of Disneyland comparing rides to IPs, and Taylor has the final tally with movies having how many points?
44
points to the rides having
46
points. Wow.
It was really close.
we thought the rides were going to win out on this one, and they did.
And they did, but
it was a lot closer than we thought it was going to be from the get-go. So I guess, Alexa, it was a very good idea.
I thought so. Okay.
So that's what we've got. We would love to know your tallies, though.
And we got to do DCA probably next week.
Well, maybe not next week, because next week we're going to be answering fan questions if we get any.
Watch us be like, we're going to answer all these fan questions and we get none.
Yeah. So if we get any questions, we'll be answering those next week. If we don't get any questions, you'll just have about an hour and 10 minutes of us sobbing. No,
Disneyland's not even open and nobody even wanted to email us.
If we don't have any questions next week, we'll probably move forward with the Dumbo review, and then we'll go from there, and then DCA. But we got plans. We've got plenty of episodes in the future, so keep on listening. Send us your emails if you have any comments, questions, anything you want to contact us with. It is dspodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on our Facebook, our Instagram, really anywhere you find us. I think it's only Instagram, Facebook, and our email, though, at the moment.
Yeah.
But, wherever you can find podcasts, you can listen to us.
There.
Yeah, wherever you're listening to us, we'll be there again next week. So if you're listening to us now, come back to that exact spot next week. We'll be there. But if you have the Anchor app, you can also send us a message on Anchor, and we'd love to hear from you. So do that. And with that being said, see you real soon.